Hello everyone and welcome back. So we're going to be learning more about number variables in Python as well as some things we can do with them. Now I mentioned before, you have floats, which are numbers with decimals. You have integers, which are numbers that are just whole numbers. And how do you convert between the two? Well, in most cases it doesn't really matter. However, if you want to get rid of that rounding error that we saw earlier, then you might want to round so you can get rid of those extra crazy decimal places. And I can also round a float to a whole number. It'll go to the nearest whole number. As a note, if it's a 0.5, it goes up, not down. Okay, so if we look at this, all I do to use this number is I have to set it to a variable because Python doesn't store anything without a variable. And so rounded number, which is the name of my variable, is equal to, I type round, and just like in Excel for functions, put it in parentheses, and I put that number to round in parentheses. So if the number was 45.6, it will round up to 46. If I want to, I can also keep a certain number of decimal places by giving a second input, so adding a comma, and then adding the number 1 will say keep 1 decimal place. 2 will say keep 2 decimal places, and onwards down to 500 decimal places, whoever. Any. Okay, so let's figure this out. So we're going to round each of the variables below to the correct number of decimal places that their name specifies, and then add the values together. Okay, so 1 decimal, 2 decimals, 3 decimals. I think I can figure that out. And we're going to put them to a variable called sum rounded. So sum rounded is equal to round 1 decimal, comma 1, because that comma 1 means that it keeps 1 decimal place. Okay, and I'm going to add to that round 2 decimals. That's the name of the function, or the name of the variable. And then since it's 2 decimal places, I put a 2. Okay, that one works pretty well. And then round 3 decimals, and hopefully I'm spelling everything correctly. And then comma 3. So that should add all of them together. And then, as always, I'm going to go ahead and print this out so I can see it. So print sum rounded, and let's see if it comes out correctly. 754.751, is that correct? All checks passed, you are good, you did it, woo! This is my attempt at giving you those nice little automatic well dones from Excel. Doing what I can. Okay, now another question you might be asking yourself is, do these variables that we're working with in Python update automatically? And the answer is no, they don't. So for example, right here, I had this variable called sum rounded. And you know what? I want to add something. I'm going to change one of the variables that went into it. So 1 decimal was 5.989. I'm going to change it to 6.989. Okay, equals 6.989. And that should, change sum rounded if they're connected still. Print sum rounded, and it's the same number. Sum rounded doesn't see that change. It saw what this value was when we added 3 together, and it completely forgets where it came from. It got a letter. Okay, I have this. Where'd it come from? No idea. It only looks at what it saw at that moment. So it does not update, it does not change. Remember that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and stop here because the next one is the challenge, as I call it. And I'm going to walk through this with you. I'm going to be nice walk through, but it's going to be a separate video so that you can not see it if you want to try it on your own. Now, there is so much more that you can do with numbers in Python. We're going to have an entire unit called Numbers in Python, more or less. Where we'll learn about something called NumPy, which is all about doing calculus and derivatives. You're like, whoa, this is EGR 150, calculus, derivatives? I understand. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy there. I'm just going to show you that you can do something crazy. It's kind of like the binoculars version of it. You're going to be looking through binoculars and be like, okay, I see over there in the distance that one day if I want to, I can go do that. But in this class, we're just going to be looking from a distance. Okay, so with that, next time, the challenge. We'll do it together. See you then. Bye-bye.